Ooh, that rumbling sound. Nice. Ooh. Gonna take some photos. And the back view. Nice. Let's hop on the bike. Fire up the engine. Ooh, that rumbling sound. Nice. Ooh. Okay, let's go. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, today I'm riding my R1. I've been riding this R1 for a few weeks now. I kind of getting used to the bike already. So initially when I got this bike, I couldn't get used to the bike as the power band, the power delivery and the gearing is so different from the R6. So it took me about 1 week to get used to the bike. So far I have no complaints about this R1. Just that this bike is running a little bit hotter compared to the R6 and it's running about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius hotter than my R6. So if I stop at the traffic light, the fan will turn on, will kick in a lot more faster than the R6. Oh shit, I'm not going to beat the red light because there's a red light camera. Although the bike is running a little bit hotter, but when the bike is at the stationary position, I don't really feel there's any heat around this area. And because the exhaust of this R1 is located at the back underneath the tail, so if there's wind that is blowing against my back of the tire will feel a little bit hotter. When I'm riding the bike, there's not much of the heat at my shin area as compared to the R6. Maybe it's because this is how the fairing are being designed, how the heat are being, dispersed out from the bike. So I'd say the R6 fairing design, makes the heat going against your shin area, whereas on this R1, the heat are being dispersed out from the bike, so you won't feel so much of the heat on your shin area and also your knee area. The riding posture of this bike is really comfortable as compared to the R6. As I mentioned in previous video, maybe it's because of the riding posture. The riding posture is less aggressive. The handlebar feels kind of higher than the seat. Whereas on the R6, the height of the handlebar is the same level as the seat. Look at the beautiful sky, and it's been raining for the past few days and I wanted to vlog but it was raining. The weather is so unpredictable during end of the year and I don't want to release it because my GoPro setup is not waterproof. I don't want to risk, damaging my GoPro as the opening of the GoPro are exposed. So the handling of this bike is pretty much the same as compared to the R6 and it's a bit different compared to the 2015 Yamaha R1. Probably it's because of the geometry, probably it's also because of the frame and the fork angle. Hey, you are good to go, bro. Yeah, so the handling is somehow like the R6. Riding a 1000cc bike in Singapore is really overkill, and with that 1000cc engine underneath the tank, fuel consumption is really bad. On one full tank for about 7 liters, I'm getting about 230 kilometers. Whereas on the R6 with the same amount of fuel, which is 70 liters, I'm able to get around 280 kilometers to 290 kilometers. So on this R1, I'm getting about 50 to 70 kilometers mileage lesser as compared to the R6. And luckily the fuel price has gone down, because last few months during the Ukraine war, per liter it costs around $3.30, and right now per liter it only costs around $2.80. But still, I'm spending more on the fuel after owning this bike. Other than the cost of the fuel, I'm also paying a lot more. I wouldn't say a lot more. I would say a little bit more on my insurance, and of course the annual road tax. Parking wise, it's the same. I'm paying $20 every month for the concessionary season parking. Other than that, there's not much of a difference. The gearing on this R1 is also very tall, especially on the first gear. So if I'm running on a small road, I'm only utilizing the first and second gear, and I hardly reach the third gear on this R1. And on a highway, like right now, the most comfortable speed is at the fourth gear. And if I'm cruising on the highway, I will try to use the sixth gear. If you are using a higher gear, your RPM will be lower, which means you're using lesser fuel, which also means that your bike fuel consumption will be better. And because the gearing is so tall, we can't really ride at the low RPM, as the bike feels like it's choking, and the bike wants you to ride at a higher RPM. If not, the bike will feel very jerky. Once the RPM reach above 5000 RPM, the sound of the crossplane engine will be very nice. It's like, you know, music to the ear. And earlier I was talking about the handling. Yeah, the handling is great. It feels very like the R6, but just that the rear suspension is a bit bouncy, and I've tried to adjust the preload. I've also tried to adjust the fast compression and slow compression, and also rebound, but it don't make any difference. And I guess my shock is worn out, and I might need to rebuild my shock. And right now I'm heading to the bike shop to get my most trusted mechanic to inspect my bike for me. So hopefully the repair will not cost me lots of money. Alright guys, here we are at the bike shop, Ravology. Ooh, the weather is so hot, and the bike is also very hot. So right now I'll get the mechanic to inspect the suspension. I'm not sure what really happened to the suspension, and it's very bouncy, especially when I'm cornering. The rear end of my bike will keep bouncing non-stop, and I suspect it might be the worn out suspension that caused the bounciness. Alright guys, we couldn't do anything today as they don't have the tools to service the wheel shock, and there's sign of leakage at the wheel shock as there are oil stain at the shock shelf. So since they can't service the shock, I will need to find a new shop to service my wheel suspension. Oh, you almost have a cut rash on your rim, bro. A 8-year-old bike with a mileage of 116,000 kilometers on the odometer. Some of the parts will definitely wear and tear, so you can't complain much if you're buying a used bike, because this is the risk of getting a used bike. But of course, buying a used bike is a lot cheaper compared to the new bike. So right now with the COE, with the ARF tax, and of course the GST is going to hike soon, the price of a bike will be even more expensive in the near future. Ever since I gotten this Yamaha R1, I haven't really done anything to the bike. The look of the bike is still the same during the first day when I collected my bike. The only thing that I've done is I've removed the GoPro mounting at the center of the tank, and also I've repositioned my IU unit to the center of the tank, as the angle of the IU unit, it looks very weird and it's not very nice. Maybe it's because the mounting bracket are poorly fabricated. So the IU unit bracket that was mounted on my previous bike, the R6, it was custom fabricated by one of the shop, and it cost me around $80 to fabricate that bracket. So instead of spending another $80 to fabricate the bracket, I have repositioned my IU unit to the center of the tank so that the look of the bike from the top will be symmetrical, especially the top part of the top yoke. And I also really love the look of the top yoke. It looks like a MotoGP bike, you know, with the holes at the center of the top yoke. And right now I'm able to have a full view of the suspension. Right now I'm stuck in traffic for about 3 minutes now, and the fan has turned on. It's so hot. Right now the current temperature is at 106 degrees Celsius. The Yamaha R6 definitely run a lot cooler than the R1. Yeah, so since today nothing can be done on my suspension, I will need to find a bike shop that can service real suspension, and also I'm planning to respray my bike. Yeah, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. So guys, please ride safe, as this period is the raining season and it has been raining almost every day. And today finally the sun is out, and right now there are a bit of the dark clouds, so I need to get home as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe, ride safe, and bye.